I had no idea what time period the original song was recorded in, and just based on everything that he's doing, I'm like, oh, this is classic rock. And the way he's singing, it's like, it still evokes classic rock. Like I said about his Toto cover, it still has the spirit of the original. It still has the spirit of a classic rock song, and he didn't try to modernize the song. He just elevated all of the elements to make it better. Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Harmonic Chaos. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm here for another bulk recording session. So just saying this now so I don't say it in every other video like I did last time. I'm sure it's going to be the same for the next like 5 videos. It literally doesn't impact you whatsoever, but I feel like saying it anyways because why not, I guess. But this has been a very popular request. I don't know how many people have requested it. Quite a few actually. Today I'm reacting to Tommy Johansson's cover of She's Gone by SteelHand. And without any further ado, I know nothing about this song or the band SteelHand, so let's just get into it, shall we? The video feels like it's not in focus. Like the text feels like it's slightly out of focus for some reason. But, I mean... I don't know, again, like I said, I know nothing about this band, this song, all that sort of stuff. But this guitar riff, though, is so good. And it's just on point. The treatment is fantastic. It's just so good. The riff is just straight fire, honestly. And I say that completely unironically.
She's gone out of my life. I was wrong.
So I googled it because this sounds like a very like classic rock song, or like inspired by the 80s style of rock, and I googled it and it was released in 1990. So I don't know if that's technically still classic rock because it was released in the 90s, but it heavily inspired. It was written and recorded in most likely the 90s. So I'm just going to call, or in the 80s. So I'm just going to call it like a classic rock song. It's really evident though because the vocal style and cadence is more of a classic rock song, and so is the general overall sound of the music. You're like, you can almost easily peg it as like, oh yeah, this is classic rock. Not like 60s rock, but like 80s classic rock. Which, is 80s still classic rock? To me it is, but then again, I'm also 25, so I don't really know.
I'm to blame, I was so untrue. I can live without love. In my life, there's just an empty space. All my dreams are lost. I'm wasting away.
So I wish I had listened to the original song before recording this, because then I would be able to fully appreciate what he's done to change it and all of that. But even without having the base knowledge of what the original song sounds like, it's still impressive, his vocal quality and his enunciation of the words, and also just singing in that classic rock cadence. Like, I had no idea what genre or what time period, well, I could have guessed the genre, but I had no idea what time period the original song was recorded in, and just based on everything that he's doing, I'm like, oh, this is classic rock. And the way he's singing, it's like, it still evokes classic rock. Like I said about his Toto cover, it still has the spirit of the original. I mean, I don't know the original song, like I just said, but it still has the spirit of a classic rock song. And he didn't try to modernize the song. He just elevated all of the elements to make it better. Which, I wish there were more cover artists like that, to be honest.
Forgive me,
with him doing that like octave up that he just did. It's not actually octave up, I don't think. It might be, but I read a comment that his range is from like C2 to A4, which is, or I might have flipped those numbers, but no, because 2 would be down here. Yeah, 4 would be up there. Unless you know music and like key scales, that probably means nothing to you. But that is an incredibly large range. To put it into perspective, he can sing from baritone to female soprano, which the only step lower than baritone is bass. As far as like broad topics, I know there are micro steps, but that's fine. Generally speaking, it goes bass, baritone, tenor. So that's like the male blocking. And then for the female, it's alto and soprano. And then obviously there are the lows and highs mixed in with that category. So he can go from mid-range on the male scale to the highest scale on the female side of things, which is insane. And then I don't know if he can peak into the soprano without going into head voice. That I am unsure about. But regardless, if he can, cool. If not, it's still impressive. I'm just continually impressed by his high end. It's insane. Those notes usually can't be hit by guys, just in general. So the fact that he's consistently singing at that high of a register is insane. I mean, I know this was it wasn't popularized, but another person who is kind of well known for singing high, well, there's a few. John Bon Jovi, obviously up there and in the classic rock. Tyler, I can't remember his last name, kind of just really well known for having a big mouth. Like, quite literally. I mean, also, obviously, yes, he's a singer, but, like, he has a big mouth. Here's a picture of him. I cannot remember his name. Future me, put in the last name, or don't, you know, live your life. Yeah, but the fact that Tommy's, like, staying up in that high register for most of this is just, it's ridiculous.
She's gone out of my life. Oh, she's gone. I find it so hard.
But it's also, based on his facial expressions, he's more comfortable singing here than he is way up here, because, I mean, singing way up here is usually pretty hard. You can tell based on, like, the way he's acting, like, singing down in this register is easier. I mean, even if he is, like, putting on a performance, you can still tell. So I don't know his, like, speaking voice. I don't know where his, like, speaking voice falls on the voice range, but I would assume it'd probably be based on I would assume it's probably not like a super low and gruff voice. If it is and he can get this high, it's impressive. I would assume it's a little bit on, like, I guess, like, the more tenor side of the speaking voices, but I have no idea what his actual, like, voice sounds like, and where I don't want to say his actual range, but where his, like, most comfortable range is. I would assume it's somewhere around tenor. Like, I heard some of his capabilities in Toto, but they're in his cover of Africa, but this song really shows off how high he can get his voice. Also, he's sliding all over those notes, man. It's so good. Also, from what I can tell, there isn't that much processing on his vocals. I mean, there's obviously there's probably some reverb and whatnot going on, and maybe some delay that I'm just not picking up on. But it sounds kind of just like clean, just straight up clean vocals. Which, if that's the case, that's again really impressive that he's able to bring so much to it with no help in post.
Into my arms, I'm so alone.
Now that I'm listening, there's reverb and slight delay, like a soft delay. It's probably like actually, it might just be straight up reverb, but if there is a delay, it's like very, very, very slight, not like dragged on. So, but overall, the processing on the vocals isn't taking away anything, so all good in my book.
Begging you, I'm down on my knees. Forgive me, God.
that is immaculate. The fact that he is able to sing, that high, it's been probably the only thing that I've talked about so far of actual relevance to most anything. I've heard him sing this high twice now, or in this song, and it still blows my mind how high his voice can go and still sound super supported from his diaphragm. It's ridiculous. He's too powerful. He's too powerful. Oh, and he added the grunge on the voice too. Like, he was singing high, and then he like added the little, it's not grunge. It's kind of like a almost scream growl underneath to support what he would like to. Words are not wording right now. This is ridiculous. That's basically what he just did, is the male equivalent of a whistle tone, which is, bruh, what can't this man do? There's like nothing. It's ridiculous, and I'm actually just falling out of my chair now. Help. I would have just kept sliding, but there's literally just a wall right there. Punching everything. Also, just time for an incredible guitar shred. Okay, so there's talking in specifics about the guitar treatment. There's a little bit of a delay running, and there's also what sounds to be overdrive going on. So there are two types of things. There are two types, but so you can have drive and drive and overdrive are kind of the same thing, and then you can also have a distortion pedal. Now, the distortion pedal, we all know what that does. It adds like a lot of what we consider like a grunge sound to it. Overdrive gives a little bit of that grunge without going over the top, and usually I don't know if you actually have to have an overdrive pedal. I have a pedal somewhere, but you know, you don't usually need an entirely separate pedal like you do with distortion to add the full effect. It kind of just adds a little bit of that in there just to kind of spice up the way the guitar sounds. So it sounds like he's just running overdrive and delay right now and nothing else crazy. I'm assuming there's some like EQing happening as well in the treatment, but you wouldn't really know that unless you looked at the treatment, like the file itself. But yeah, it sounds incredibly clean. My guy, bruh, he had just matched the guitar with his voice. I don't know if he matched the guitar to his voice or his voice to the guitar, but either way, he's the GOAT. He's just actually the GOAT. This isn't, I don't know what else to say. He went higher. Mans went higher. I don't know what else I can say about the fact that his voice is ridiculous. Take it home. The lean in and the thumbs up at the end was not necessary, my man. That was ridiculously impressive. My camera's about to die, so this has to be quick. I cannot say it enough. His voice is incredible. I now see why everybody wanted me to react to this. So thank you so much for recommending it. Recommend me more songs that I can check out in the future. I hope you guys are all having a blessed day, and I will talk to you guys all later. God bless.